So everybody and their mother are doing a trailer reaction or commentary or something about the new Superman trailer. So you know what? I was like, screw it. Why don't I just join in the action and react to the Superman trailer? Like, why not? I mean, like anybody actually cares, but or I don't know if this will actually get any views, but still, I thought, it's might as well, right? Might as well milk some content out of this. So I have already seen the Superman trailer, and I have been watching people talk about it. But let's might as well, right? So I've heard people talking about this shot, debating whether this shot is good or not, or this is a good way to start the trailer with a battered Superman. Now, a couple of things about this. I've heard people saying like, "Oh, this is not a good way to start." Some people were saying it's showing an injured and vulnerable Superman. I kind of go a little bit on the mix on that. It is a bit odd, but also it does show. I think kind of what this tells us is that this is because Superman is invulnerable. He's like it's a pretty big thing. Superman is basically invincible, and so what this is telling us here is that this is going to be a big threat. That it's such a big threat that he's gonna be battered. Also, in the snow and everything, I think it kind of reminded me a little bit about the first flight from Man of Steel, when Superman was in the Arctic and everything like that. And I do have to say, this outfit, I think it's been kind of growing on me. So I'm kind of liking it. Also, I have to say, he kind of does look a lot like Henry Cavill. Just gonna mention that. I know people have talked about it. Yeah, it is kind of a weird haircut. I think kind of a little bit of a bonus for that is the drastic difference in haircut from Clark Kent to Superman. Kind of helps the disguise a little bit. A little bit of a nerdier haircut there. And then you could see like it's a much more clean cut kind of haircut, a little bit better. I think that's supposed to kind of go do a balance of the different haircuts there. James Gunn. I think we're just trying to see some like classic Superman stuff. Hopefully we do get a lot of good classic Superman stuff. I know this is gonna be a hot take. Actually, I am not a fan of Christopher Reeve's Superman. Like that is just it's real. Like the first Superman movie, incredibly cheesy. It is so cheesy. I keep a DVD of it in my fridge in case I need to do some cooking and need a little extra cheese. Like it is just incredibly cheesy. I can see like anybody who grew up on that movie, I can totally see why you would absolutely love it. Can absolutely see it. But like especially compared to today's standard, oh, it is like irritatingly cheesy. And I watched Superman. I couldn't get through. I tried to go through like all the old Superman movies. I could not watch Superman 3 and 4. Superman 2, oh my gosh, it was terrible. I could not suffer through any more of those Superman movies. I skipped right up to Superman Returns to check that one out, but I could not do any more of this Christopher Reeve Superman. But I would love to see something not nearly like a little bit more realistic, not as cheesy and as dumb as those Superman movies were, but something more akin to traditional Superman stuff. That would be a lot of fun. That's kind of what I'm hoping this does. And James Gunn, I'm not like I was a bit worried about. I'm very skeptical about this movie. I'm hopeful but skeptical. I was hoping that James Gunn. I'm like, when I heard he was going to do the Superman movie, I was kind of worried because I'm like, oh man, this guy, he does a lot of comedy and whatnot. He also does a lot. He also adds a lot of heart. I'm not. I'm hoping that they can combine the epicness and the hope and all the stuff that you want from a Superman. Like this, I'm hoping this will be the best Superman movie we have ever seen. That's my hope here. That is my hope. Because like you go back to like Christopher Reeves, incredibly cheesy movies. You have Superman Returns, not super great. I didn't hate it actually, but not super great. Man of Steel, super divisive. I love Man of Steel, but it is super divisive. It doesn't have enough of that classic Superman stuff to kind of bring everybody together. So theatrically, we haven't had like a great Superman, definitive Superman to have, and hopefully this will be the one. That's what I'm hoping. Coming out this summer. Does the whistle? I was kind of wondering, and I'm like, what is going on here? I think I was starting to wonder, is this Krypto? And Krypto the Super Dog. Now, I have a couple thoughts on this. Firstly, my immediate thought is like, oh, we're doing Krypto? Like that is I'm like this is weird. Like this is like, are we doing this? Seriously? But here's the thing, right? James Gunn is fantastic at doing this, taking something that feels super absurd, something that really wild, and making it like down to earth and actually making it good. I'm thinking the Suicide Squad. You have people like Polka Dot Man. What he did with Polka Dot Man, like that guy is a ridiculous character, Polka Dot Man. But he like James Gunn was able to make Polka Dot Man and King Shark like characters that were like actually really good. And then the main villain in the Suicide Squad was Starro, and everybody's just like collectively, you're just like, what on earth are you doing? But James Gunn knows how to take like really weird offbeat characters and actually like make them popular. Like, so this, like immediately I'm like, really Krypto? But part of me also is like, he could, like, James Gunn is great at doing, like, taking weird stuff and actually making them good and, like, integrating them into the movies really, really well. So I am a little concerned about this, but also I'm hopeful that what they do with this is actually good and not just, like, really weird. And this right here, the money shot, this is the shot that everybody talks about, that like the best shot of the, and I have to agree, like this is, that right there, that was like epic. It also kind of reminds me a little bit of Snyder's Man of Steel with the slow-mo shot and everything. You have the Superman protecting the little girl against the explosion, like rushing in, but then you have the slow-mo shot making it super epic, which is the thing that really was not like the epicness of like how Superman does things is just not there in like the 70s and 80s movies, and even in like the 2000, like even Superman Returns, like it's missing from all of those movies, and then we get this here, and that's like, oh wow, yeah, that right there. Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this. I like Nicholas Hoult. Don't get me wrong, I do. Granted, I'm not the type of person who's like, oh man, I can't believe you cast. It's really all about the performance, and this is just a kind of a wait and see kind of thing. The Superman flag. Going for the hope, and then here, this again, another shot that's very reminiscent of Man of Steel, and Batman v Superman. Actually, I think a bit more specifically, Batman v Superman here. That is kind of where you have people hating. Oh, you got the little Superman curl there, right there as well. but like having a bit of that like heat from the kind of a little bit more akin to the Snyder Man of Steel Snyderverse movies. So that's I feel like there's a little bit of mix between like different versions of Superman. I think this I'm really hoping this is gonna be the version that can bring everybody together. Could be like the Snyder fans. Like I'm a really big fan of Zack Snyder's work with the DC movies. But and so like I'm hoping that like you've got the Snyder's fans who are getting a little bit of Snyder in there. You've got like the everybody's talking about the like people's main complaints with the Snyder movies is that there's no hope in them. There's a lot of color. So like I'm hoping that like all of this kind of brings together. So a little bit more of the realism. We got Guy Gardner Green Lantern. I know people have talked about like his haircut is terrible. I mean, yeah, bowl cuts. Just I didn't realize this was Green Lantern at first. Kind of wondering what this is. What's gonna be going on here? Hawk Girl looks like. Oops. Kaiju monster. Whatever this is going on here in the background. I mean, that it looks really cool. I don't know what this is. This is right here. You got the romance between. This is. I wonder what this robot is. I have no idea. But you've got the romance between Lois Lane and Clark Kent, or Superman, I guess. The Fortress of Solitude. I don't know. Whoa. Fortress of Solitude. I don't know who this guy is. We've got some Disaster and Nicholas Hoult. Crypto. Some epic action. I'm struggling to remember. I'm struggling to remember who this character is. He's familiar. I am just not remembering who this character is off the top of my head. I can't remember. Force Field. July 11th. But yeah, that is the Superman trailer. It looks like there's going to be some Justice Society. There's also I've also heard a lot of people have concerns about having a bunch of different heroes and like a lot being packed in, and I kind of agree. I really hope that this is a Superman trailer with some Justice Society kind of mixed in. I've also heard some people talking about that this is more lived-in world, and that is also so. I think that is something that's really interesting, and something about like cinematic universes that kind of has been a bit of a problem, which has been that with cinematic universes, usually you start off with the inciting incident, which is like, for instance, the MCU would be Iron Man is the first movie, so there's nothing up until that point. But then whenever they want to do some prequels, it's like, well, how come that wasn't mentioned? How come that wasn't mentioned? So there's all these things that are going on. But this is showing this is the first movie in this universe, but there's already a bunch here, which means that they can go back and start telling those stories later on, and they could do prequels without really breaking a lot of continuity, because it's like there's already a bunch of stuff going on all around here. So it is something that is it can be a bit of a concern. It's like, okay, I hope this isn't going to be like an ensemble cast, and that the primary focus stays on Superman, because this is Superman, not Justice Society or anything like that. But overall, I really hope that this movie does do really well. I really hope that this movie it has to be really, really good. Like when I know with like Deadpool and Wolverine coming out earlier this year, a lot of people were like, "Oh, Deadpool, like the MCU is gonna be saved by Deadpool and Wolverine or anything." It's like, the MCU is like it cannot be saved by one movie. It has to be like it's the decline in quality that is people's concern, and they've lost their way. We've been since Endgame, it has been 5.5 years since Endgame came out, and we have no idea who the main characters are. Like, what? Like by this time, since the start of we knew who we already had an Avengers movies starting from the first, starting from Iron Man. We already had the Avengers, and we already knew who the main characters were, but we don't even know there's a lot of problems with the MCU. This is the restart. And if this is a flop, then if this doesn't perform, if it's a flop, if it's not good, then then people are basically just going to be like, oh, okay, well, Superman's dead, or DC's dead. It's like, cuz this is their chance to this is their do-over. This is DC's do-over. And if they've got to do this right. And if they don't do this right, we've got a lot of problems. They've got a lot of problems on their hands. So, so those are my thoughts on the Superman teaser trailer. Decided to join the bandwagon. Everybody and their mother are making videos on this. So I was like, screw it, might as well, right? So this is not the. Hey, listen, if you guys enjoyed me just talking about any, I don't know, news or my thoughts on stuff like this, let me know down in the comments if you guys like this. I don't know, maybe I'll do more of this stuff next year, but this is kind of my first round going and giving my thoughts on some news, I guess, when it comes to movie stuff, movie news. Not actually reviewing a movie or anything like that, but I don't know. So if you guys liked it, hit a like button. Let me know down in the comments if you guys want to see more reactions or any kind of thoughts on trailers or whatever. I guess, I don't know, news or whatever. So let me know, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.